What's going on, guys? Roma the Roamer here. I'm joined with Fields of Profit again. He is crushing it. 22 years old, 190,000 in spend in April.
Yep.
And what is that going to be ROI on that spend? 40%-ish?
35, 40-ish, yeah.
Yeah, 30%. Even if it was half of that, that's still ridiculous. Absolutely crushing it. He's got a Discord with over 20,000 members. Feel free to click the link below and join that. And in this video, I'm going to go over exactly, or he's going to answer any questions I have. So I have an expert here. I legitimately wrote down all these questions to ask him or other experts privately, but I figured why not just make a YouTube video and ask these questions. So my video editor will be editing out these products since I'm actually purchasing these products myself. There is one product at the very end. If you guys stay until the end, you guys will get basically a free lead. So stay until the end and check that one out. But without further ado, let's dive into this.
Look, grind hard, well done, sir. And welcome to the freaking Well Show. And party central to my well ones. A night of violated hell codes. Dope sells like the charge do, but selling's all about potential.
So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Boom. All right, here's the first question. So should I be worried that there's only one seller on this listing most of the time? So if we go to everyone that doesn't know, this is a new offer count. These are some old ass man shoes that my dad wears. Like, this is the type of shit you wear when your back starts hurting. It's a weird brand. I won't say it because it might be a good opportunity for me to keep sourcing. But what I've noticed is if you look at the number of new offers, which if you guys expand, if you click on more historical data down here, it'll actually expand this bottom part. A lot of booksellers don't even look at the number of used sellers, but in OA, pretty important. And you can see this happens often. It's not always the same story, but you see somebody hop on it for like a day, which is the number of sellers increases, but then it goes away.
Yeah, pretty big red flag right away there.
Okay, but there are some examples. Like, let's see if I expand this. Yeah, same thing happened back here. I did look at other variations of this shoe, and like there were some examples where the other sellers would last for a few days, but usually same story. It's not very long. You never see like two sellers on it at all times. Would you, in this case, what would you do?
Yeah, it seems like they're pretty aggressive, at least about, it might not be the brand themselves. It might just be like a wholesale partner of some kind. And they get exclusivity on the shoes. What I would do when I'm unsure on this, and this is what we have our team do to make sure we're not like competing with the people who own the actual product, is you can go to data and then buy box statistics, and you can do it or not on this item if you don't want to leak it. But it will show you the past sellers on that item, and a lot of times you'll see that it is the brand themselves who is selling on the item. And that applies even if they're not currently selling on it. In the past, they might have been selling on it, and that'll help protect you from that. So if you check that and you see the brand name there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you can see the brand name is on it right there. So, and you also see that no one else has had any buy box share. Right. So if we did see other sellers getting buy box, that would be a good sign.
Yeah, it would be a good sign, but at the end of the day, if I ever see the same brand that's on the buy box rotation ever, I'm never buying that item.
What does it mean when there's like this gap here? Is this just Keepa being glitchy?
Yeah, that could be glitchy, but based on like the sales rank jump after that, I would imagine the listings got split apart. So the Keepa chart just started tracking that specific size. And then like the listings, Amazon, for whatever reason, sometimes like, especially with shoes, you'll find like the size 11 black and white will be like on its own listing. And then a week later, it'll be back on the main listing. So if you see that on the Keepa chart, that's usually what's happening.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. And also, if you guys want, he's talking about variations. We have a video where we go over variations and how to deal with variations and know exactly what variations are truly selling. If you guys do want to watch that video, click the link below and you can get some more Fields of Profit in your life. All right, so that's it for that. All right, for this one, I can pick it up for $6.50. It sells like crazy, 3,200 units a month. That's pretty insane volume, right?
That's big volume for sure.
Would you risk, and keep in mind, my seller amp is actually factoring in prep cost already.
Mhm.
So after I'm really making $3 per, which is
Gotcha.
32% ROI. Would something like this interest you?
Yeah, in this case, like, especially if that's factoring in your prep costs, like, I personally, like, ideally, obviously I'd like to make $2+ per unit, but if the ROI is there and I'm not going to touch it, then I don't care. I'll go pretty low on in
Also,
terms of,
what the hell is going on here?
yeah, you see that on really fast selling items pretty often, because
Okay.
what happens is, like, I bet when it goes up, I bet it's giving it to FBA sellers if you want to mouse over it. Yeah, so you see it says third party FBA, and if
Mhm.
you go down, it's probably giving it to merchant fulfillers.
Yep.
Usually, what's happening there is the FBA sellers, it's selling so fast that they can only stay in stock for so long, so it goes back to merchant fulfilled. Other times, Amazon just decides to rotate the buy box between there.
Oh, so with that information, I can probably sell it for $18.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is definitely a buy.
Yeah, because you notice all the FBA sellers are selling it for 18, so it looks like a really good
Now,
item.
this is a small supplement. I'll just go ahead and say that. With a small supplement, if I was going to merchant fulfill this for $15.99, is Seller Amp is basing this off of FBA.
Right.
First of all, can I change Seller Amp to
Yeah, if you scroll down, you can flip. It's one of the boxes down there. You can toggle between FBA and FBM. Right there. Scroll up a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
that's
know
it.
what
If you,
you're talking
if you
about. Yeah.
toggle FBM, you can check the FBM prices there.
Okay, so this. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now that doesn't include your shipping costs. So now you'd have to,
Okay.
like, manually, like, if I'm shipping same
That
state,
was
I
my
might
next
come.
question. What
Yeah.
do you think the shipping cost is?
If it seems like a pretty small little supplement. So I would imagine it's, you're going to be paying, $4 or $5 to ship it.
Okay, so kind of like a book.
Yeah, maybe 350. Yeah, book prices. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And real quick, small and light. I wanted to ask you about that. What is the deal with small and light, and when should we use small and light?
Yeah, I really like obviously, if an item is under $10 and is, smaller, I think it has to be under 3 pounds. So it's not necessarily like the traditional, like, tiny products you think of. The fees are obviously gonna vary a little bit. But something that is pretty cool with small and light is sometimes if you sell an item for $11, you would actually make more profit if you just priced it to $9.99. And the fees are going to be way
Yeah,
less if you do it that
yeah.
way.
That,
So
that's what that's
yeah,
what Jake was showing me the
yeah,
other day.
yeah.
He was like, "We can sell this for $10 and a penny, or we can sell it for $9.99 or $8, and we can make more money selling it for $8 than we would if we sold it for $10 and a penny."
Yep, yep.
So, what point do you need to do that? Like, is that something? It just seems like it would automatically happen. Like, why is it something that sellers have to do?
To toggle small and light.
Yeah. Like, is that just like preference for you paying for shipping? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Amazon would probably, they're probably making less money on small and light, so they're gonna make you go through some extra legwork to do it. That's my
gotcha.
only idea. But
So it is something you need to do, though. It's not automatically going to happen.
yeah, you have to individually enroll each product. Like, you can do it in bulk, obviously. Like, if you upload a bunch of your SKUs that you want to turn over, to say, these are all eligible, these aren't, based on whatever factors, weight, price.
Do you know if we can do that with books?
I don't know if books apply. That would be interesting, though. I imagine there's probably an exception for books, but you could look into it.
Yeah.
It could make a lot of books profitable that weren't before.
Exactly. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times I'll ask like my friends these questions because I'm too lazy to do the research myself. I asked Dave can read that question the other day. He hasn't responded yet. Okay, next question is, does something like this that can sell for 20% ROI consistently get you excited? Now, I wrote this question, but I'm not actually sure if this consistently sells for 20% ROI. Let's change this to 180, which is the lowest price it sells for.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's actually why. So this is right. So worst case, this has dropped to 170 actually, but 180 I think is kind of
It briefly goes to 170, so it wouldn't be that.
We go back here. So let's just ignore this fact that it dropped to 115 a year ago, and let's pretend, because I do run across this scenario a lot where it's like, okay, worst case it's going to drop to this, and so the true worst case here is it's dropping to 170, which is probably closer to 10% ROI. But let's pretend that this dropped to, and even at 10% ROI, like this isn't like crazy sales velocity, but are you picking something up that you know you can replenish over and over again if it's 10 to 20% ROI, or is that just too low of a threshold for you personally?
Yeah, it depends on the category. So this product, like it's a shoe. We're gonna be blanking out the rest of it, but on this case, I wouldn't go for shoes at 20% ROI because the return
Okay.
rate is about 10 to 15%. So you got to make sure you're factoring in the losses that's going to generate. But something that's interesting here is you could, if you're swimming in capital, you could put it up there and then put your like a minimum price at like 200, and then only capture the more expensive sales because it seems to be fairly often going above. Like, see there,
Yeah.
it's going for like 232. Like that's probably super profitable. So you could be the one who just gets those sales and then let other people get the 20% sales.
So you personally, if you came across this, would you, would you buy this? Like just
Yeah, I think I would.
okay.
I have a lot deeper pockets than probably some of the people who are watching. If you're a new seller out
You
there,
should
probably
change your
don't.
name to Deep Pockets.
I
Fields of
won't.
deeper
Fields
fields of
of deep
profit.
pockets. No, but just like people who are watching the video, probably they probably got 5,000-10,000 bucks. Like if you buy 10 pairs of this, that's $1,000 like right away. I might sit on 10 to 20 pairs of this, but if you're starting with 5 or 10, like it's going to lock up too much your capital. You're going to be waiting for the prices to go back up. So it kind of just depends on your situation on this one.
Gotcha. So looking at buy box statistics, you can see. So if there's no FBA check here, it means it's a MF seller
Yep.
getting the buy box. So would you buy this? This person here is getting buy box, and this person here is too. Somehow this person's getting buy box. They look like a big seller, but only 874 reviews. They're buy boxing at 216.84 MF.
Which is
I buy
very
this
profitable.
and ship it to my prep center. This is still MF.
Yep.
It's not factoring in shipping, I guess now. Oh yeah, that's another question. Generally, how much is it to ship a box of shoes?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of merchant fulfilling shoes to be
Okay.
honest.
I have really good rates with FedEx. I get 60% off. If anyone in the audience is doing massive volume, or if you ever are, Warner, feel free to reach out to me. I help a lot of sellers get good FedEx shipping rates. It's even cheaper to ship books with my FedEx account over 30 pounds than it is to ship like media mail.
Oh wow.
Last year we sold a lot of chlorine, and I helped not a lot of chlorine sellers, but one chlorine seller get really good rates, and we saved a ton on shipping. So that's open to all you guys. If you guys don't message me for like one label, but if you guys are doing like several items, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll help you guys out. All right, I think that's it for that one. Oh yeah, are you pricing down on something like this? This isn't the best case. A lot of times, like I'll come across a shoe where the price is just like $400, and it's like, come on, this is actually fucking ridiculous. Like, but the Keepa, like even this is ridiculous. $269 for a shoe. Like who pays that much? But the Keepa, this to me looks like it's getting sales. So I have a couple questions about this. But does this mean sales right here?
It means sales on the listing as a whole. So those sales could be going to other colors, other sizes.
Okay, yeah, that's huge. That actually, the fact that you said that, I probably screwed up a lot on my purchasing decisions, which is why you guys should watch the variations video below, where he breaks down exactly how to tell if different categories or different variations. There's 20 different colors on a shoe, 10 different sizes, different shoelace colors, whatever. How do you know what variation is getting sales? Make sure to watch that video below, because obviously I need to learn about this too. But that's good to know that other sales on other variations can affect this. So there's no surefire way to know based on just this page that there's sales.
Yeah, we can combine some variation knowledge into this and roughly figure it out, but it's pretty tricky to get exact numbers.
Gotcha. But back to the main question. So this obviously is at an inflated price, and even if we sold it here for $169, that'd probably be close to break even, actually.
Yeah, if you're spending 120. Are you still on merchant fulfilled?
This is still on merchant fulfilled, yeah.
Okay.
So we can change it back to FBA.
It actually
no, it
stayed because
defaulted
we
back.
didn't refresh the tabs and stuff.
True.
Yeah, so that's looks decent at FBA prices then.
Yeah. So I mean, are you just gonna keep this at, I mean, a high price, or are you gonna bring it back down?
Yeah, so I would try to bring a buy box back on this if possible. If you want to go back to price history, we can
And what do
see.
you mean by that? Bring a
Um,
buybacks back
yeah,
on?
because right now the price is like way too high, and so Amazon's saying customers aren't gonna, they're not gonna buy this for the price it's at.
Yep.
So could you mouse over like in April? It looks like it temporarily got the buy box there. I'd be
Oh
curious to know
yeah,
if
yeah, I
that's
see
so.
that.
That is FBA offers. So I bet right now it doesn't want to give FBM offers the buy box at that price, but I bet it would give FBA offers the buy box there. So you could come in and FBA it at what is that, like 230 something? Cool.
236.97.
Yeah, so you could probably come in and list it at that, and it would sell slowly but decently. And that seems like really high ROI. So if you want to increase sales velocity, like if you buy a whole bunch of this and you want to start selling them way faster, you could probably knock it down to 200 or
Gotcha.
so and really start moving them.
Cool. Sweet. And so you're not gonna give it like a week at this higher price, or are you just
You could see, like depending on how much you're gonna be able to buy of this. So like, some things you can only buy so much, like the site's gonna cancel you, that kind of stuff. But if it's a site you can consistently buy a whole bunch from, like try to encourage as much volume as possible.
gotcha? So my question here is, are you going deep as fuck on these? Yeah, I actually had this question for another friend of mine, but same question goes for you. Um, I obviously thought this was a good buy. That's why I asked that question. How deep? This is shoe category, 100,000 sales rank.
Yep.
How deep are you going on something like this?
Depending on so this gets into variation knowledge a little bit. So I would want to see the percentage of reviews that this specific size and color has. Then I would multiply that by the estimated sales per month. That's like roughly how much this is going to be selling. We'll talk about that in more detail. But like I would probably buy like half of that number, maybe a fourth of that number. Something that I've been realizing is that most Amazon sellers kind of suck. So I'm not competing with 75% of sellers who are on every listing. Like in this case, looks like competition is increasing a little bit. So that's one other thing to consider. Like there's a million things to think about when you're buying products. So I would probably buy like a fourth to half of whatever that number tells me that I'm going to sell every month as just like a test buy, and then I could go from there.
This number here?
Yeah, you would take your estimated sales and then multiply that times review percentage for this specific ASIN.
Gotcha. So let's say this is getting 5%.
Yeah.
So that'd be 10 per month, 10, 11. So you said you're going to load up on how many? 3 times?
Yeah. So in that case, I'd probably get like 5 then. If this specific variation was selling like 10 a month, get like 5, see how it goes. You're probably going to sell more than that. I've found.
What was your rule? You would get half of how much it's selling per month?
Yeah, and that's going to
Okay.
depend on, like in this case, there's only like 10 or 9 sellers on this listing. Probably over half of them aren't priced competitively. Like we could look into more detail on that, make sure we're not, make sure all of them aren't price competitive. But I figured not everyone's price competitive. I'm going to be able to go in there, have a more powerful repricer, get a lot more sales than they are. So that's where that would kind of come from.
Perfect. Makes sense. If you guys are liking this content, go ahead and hit that like button. Also follow Warner Fields of Profit on all his social media. It'll all be linked below. He's got a free Discord for you guys. And if you guys want to dive in head first, you can also invest in his course, which is a few $100s. He's always raising the price on this thing because he's always adding value to it. But I'm going through it. I was watching videos this morning. This is how I've learned everything. But if you guys don't want to spend money yet, just go to check out his YouTube channel. He's got great content just like this, breaking things down.
For sure. Lots of free info out there.
My next question is, this has actually, we will shoot a YouTube video on this exact question. And that's the YouTube video that will be below, where we dive deep into exactly how to look for variations and go through them. And I think this is actually a variation question too. Actually, this is kind of different. So this is a product review, as I promised you guys. So this is a perfect example of sizes not being available. That's the question I wrote. Would you buy these up? I like how I write questions. All right, I don't know exactly which one I was referring to, but
Do you are you doing which size are you doing on this?
That's what I need to find out. I think
Okay.
it was. I mean, I imagine it was. This is a kids listing, so let's Nike women's low top. Um, what's a popular size?
Mm,
Somewhere in the middle.
for like kids shoes or
Yeah, why does it say women's, but then it's got kids shoes?
this is just like a mega listing with like basically all this shoe on it.
Okay, let's see, 6.5. I run into this scenario all the time. Here we go. Perfect example right here. So it's 6.5, whatever size this is. See how I clicked on 6.5 and it automatically grabbed this pink right here. My question is, this is like a huge listing, but
Right.
most of the time it's like, let's pretend it's only 3. And now we're getting into a theoretical world. I'll make it easier. We'll just look at let's pretend this is a listing. It's only got these 3, and we see that it's selling like 2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I run into this all the time where there's like colors sold out like this. And I have never been able to find sales history on the sold out colors. Is that a red flag if I can't find sales history on a variation that's not available?
Yeah, you should. On variations that are actually selling, you should be able to go to like variations on Keepa. And then any listings that have gotten reviews before, even if they're not in stock right now, you'll be able to find the ASINs and how many reviews and stuff they had. So even if you can't find like specific data on it, you'll at least know how many reviews it has, so you can know like roughly how well it's been selling.
Okay. So if there's a hot shoe and a popular size, like size 9 men's,
Yep.
sold out. Size 10 is profitable. Size 8 is profitable. Size 8.5 is profitable. But size 9, for whatever reason, doesn't show up. You're saying I should be able to find it in variations. And if
Yeah,
I'm
if it
not,
has reviews, you can grab the ASIN.
okay. And if I'm not able to find it in variations, are you taking a chance and buying it and listing it?
Usually
Or
not. If
okay.
it's like, I'd have to be able to find the ASIN at least, which this is how I would find those ASINs that are out of stock. So if I can't even like find the ASIN since it has no reviews, anything like that, like I'm running away from that.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's
well that's it for what we about to say.
I was just saying like that's the whole point of Amazon, right? So we can go in, we can see exactly how fast things are selling. So if I don't know exactly how fast things are selling, I'm not gonna ruin the
Right.
point of selling on Amazon, right?
I like what you say. You say you buy data, you don't buy products.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on, man. Again, you guys can find him, Fields of Profit, everywhere. Make sure to go sub on TikTok, Bumble, Tinder. He's all over the If you guys like this content, go ahead and hit that like button and go check out his channel, guys. Much love.